The U.S. government reopened on Friday afternoon, but the FBI was already on the job at the crack of dawn.
The breaking news tonight, longtime Trump ally and advisor Roger Stone indicted by special counsel Robert Mueller's grand jury and arrested in an early morning raid on his Florida home.
FBI agents in bulletproof vests descending on his home, guns drawn.
Stone was indicted on 5 counts of false statements, 1 count of obstruction, and 1 count of witness tampering.
That's right. Special counsel Robert Mueller has now charged a 6th associate of Donald Trump. This time it was Roger Stone, personal advisor to the president, and what Mike Pence would look like after 1 drink. Now, usually, when someone in President Trump's circle comes under investigation, Trump downplays his connection to them. You know, it's what he does. You know, it's like how Trump said that Paul Manafort was barely on the campaign, or that George Papadopoulos was a coffee boy, or Jared Kushner was just his blocker. But Trump might have a harder time dismissing Roger Stone. And not just because Stone dresses like he crashes British weddings, but also because a big question in this investigation is whether the Trump campaign coordinated with WikiLeaks to release Hillary's hacked emails, right? And in his indictment, Mueller says that Roger Stone was directed to contact WikiLeaks by someone in the Trump campaign. Now, was that someone Trump himself? We don't know. But if it wasn't Trump, you would expect his people to just come out and say so. But instead, they're avoiding the question like it's a friend's poetry reading.
The charges brought against Mr. Stone have nothing to do with the president. That's what I'm clear on, and that's what I can tell you about it today.
You keep telling me you're clear on that, but then you will not answer whether it was the president who directed a senior Trump campaign official to contact Roger Stone. And you may not know. You may not know. All I'm saying is you can't...
I actually have answered the question several times. You just don't like my answer.
No.
You those two things aren't the same.
Well, did the president know or not? Was it the president who made that direction or not?
Once again, I haven't read this document. Okay. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to be able to get into the weeds on those specifics.
Oh, that's right. I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you what the truth is. I'm not qualified. Like, is it just me, or does Sarah Huckabee Sanders say all Trump people had nothing to do with Trump whenever shit hits the fan? I feel like this whole thing is going to end with her coming out like, Donald Trump had nothing to do with the Trump presidency. He was totally out of the loop, practically made 0 decisions at all. Which actually I'd believe. I'll be like, yeah, I believe that. I believe that from you. Now, look, we don't know how this will all end. Roger Stone may turn out to be the key to the Mueller investigation, and he may end up going to jail, probably without even collecting $200. We'll see. But, I will say this. It was really interesting to see how his supporters and Trump supporters on the right reacted to the way he was arrested.
This morning, before sunrise, heavily armed FBI agents dressed in full tactical gear surrounding the home of a 66-year-old man, drawing their weapons, pounding on the door, and they took him into custody.
It was well beyond unnecessary to go breaking into a man's home who's 66 years old.
I'm 66 years old. I don't own a firearm. These are Gestapo tactics.
To storm my house with a greater force than was used to take down bin Laden or El Chapo or Pablo Escobar. It's unconscionable.
Okay. Calm down, 4th blind mouse. Calm down. Calm down. It wasn't more force than bin Laden. Bin Laden's at the bottom of the ocean right now, and he's probably like, oh yeah, I've got fish swimming through my head, but you had it real rough, Raja, real rough. Like, here's the thing I find interesting about all of this, right? You have Trump and his people lambasting the police for what they did. And it's interesting to me for how long? How many years have black people been saying, police in America are extreme? The way they arrest people, the way they interact with citizens when they're taking them away. Black people have been saying for a long time. And every time black people say it, what do they say on Fox? What do they say on the right? What do they always say? They always like, oh, well, that's the law. You know, blue lives matter. That's what this is about. You got to respect the police. They're doing their jobs. And then when one of them gets arrested, they're like, did you see how he held me? He put my hands behind my back. You can't do anything when your hands are behind your back. I'm a 66-year-old man. And it's like, yeah, but look at what the police do to young black kids. And then they'll be like, yeah, but you know, this kid, how are the police supposed to know? How are they supposed to know with Roger Stone? They'd be like, these police were out of hand. They were controlling Gestapo. Really? When the cops arrest you, they're Nazis? And then when they go after black people, you're like, well, that's the law, you know? You shouldn't have gotten on the wrong side of the law. Look, I'll be honest with you. I agree with Roger Stone. I think the amount of force that the police used to arrest him did seem excessive. Coming in with bulletproof vests, like you don't need that for the guy. But I also don't blame the cops. They were just following orders from the top.
When you see these thugs being thrown into the back of a paddy wagon, you just see them thrown in, rough. I said, please don't be too nice. Like when you guys put somebody in the car and you're protecting their head, you know, the way you put their hand over. I said, you can take the hand away, okay?
Yeah, poor Trump. He thought that rough policing would only apply to MS-13. Who knew they would also be using it on the MAGA 6?